Wow, Mary, if only you know what that looks like. It takes me back decades to when my mother makes that in the kitchen. I just want to, oh, lovely. I can't wait. Anyhow, so welcome. So let's talk parenting now. And with over a decade experience as a Montessori director and entrepreneur, Ochuko Prudence Daniel has joined us this morning on parenting to talk about child abuse and the Montessori education. Hello, Prudence. How are you? Good morning.
Hello, Mazzino. Good morning.
Hey.
It's good to be here again.
It is good to have you here again every single morning. We always look forward to having you here as we talk about our kids, the Montessori education, and how it applies to the different cultures of life. So today we're going to be talking about child abuse and the Montessori education. And I have a ton of questions for you this morning. First of all, I want to ask, regarding Montessori education. Now, regarding child abuse, where does the Montessori culture stand exactly?
Okay. Generally, child abuse, two words come to mind. That is maltreatment and neglect. Yeah. But Montessori sees it a little differently, in the sense that what others might tend to be very mild, Montessori would be alarmed at what effect or negative effect it could have on the child. So Montessori, rather, when it comes to child abuse, I would like to link it to what we call normalization or deviation. Naturally, every child below 6 operates on what we call the absorbent mind. And this is the state of the mind of the child that soaks in information. It's like a sponge. It just soaks in information from its environment, or like a camera that takes a picture, takes images, snapshot of images from its environment. So that being said, I'm only trying to express or explain that every one of us, we are a product of our environment.
Okay.
We are,
So, Ochuko,
yes, please.
from what you said what other cultures might see as, this small thing, the Montessori culture would be alarmed at it. Can you give an example of some of these features you're talking about here that would seem alarming to a Montessori educator?
Okay, for example, I was actually trying to create a background because it's very deep. This is a very sensitive topic in the Montessori system. Yes. So every child requires respect, and what a child becomes is actually the result of how we handle them when they are small. So at that little stage when they are absorbing and taking in, soaking in everything in their environment, we stand a chance of either abusing them to become deviated children, or they become very well normalized children who can concentrate and work unsupervised, effortlessly, and rest at the same time. So when you see children who are restless, who are misbehaving, who are unstable, it's all as a result of what I can term an abuse, so to say, in their upbringing. Yeah. So instability in a child, it's kind of like as a result of abuse, so to say.
Okay. So,
by that, I mean in developmental issues, like as a child is growing up, there are stages, there are things that are meant to be done, and when they are not done, these can result to these anomalies that I am talking about.
Okay, so in much of our culture here in Nigeria, when you talk about respect, it talks about subduing a child's confidence. You can't look a parent in the eye, especially when you're talking to them. But I know that in other cultures, it's expected that you're bold enough to even respond back in confidence. Is this the Montessori system as well?
Exactly. I like that you have linked it to confidence. because much of the abuse brings about low self-esteem in kids, in children generally, whether in Nigeria or anywhere in the world.
Okay.
So, but Montessori focuses and promotes respect for the child because a lot of that results in the total, we speak about totality in developing a child in the Montessori system. So that respect and according the child the rightful developmental support results in that beautiful, total, well-grounded child that we are all looking for.
So would it seem that it is the lack of respect that we have in our culture for the child that is responsible for most timid behaviors that we see in children as they grow up, that it even goes into their adulthood?
Right, 100% Mazino. Because like I said, every adult is a creation of what their childhood was. Every adult is a product of their childhood, of their environment. So what you feed a child on when they are young, I don't mean food now in terms of development, in terms of whatever they are able to absorb at the absorbent mind stage, what they are able to soak in, is what will come out in the end. Yes, so respect is a huge one when it comes to child development. And in Nigeria, I would say the more we begin to realize that our culture, to an extent, brings about some kind of timidity in us, the better we are able to raise more beautiful and more confident children who can innovate, who can explore, who can, go into the world well ready to become the Albert Einsteins and the innovators of the world today.
Wow, you summed it up very nicely with that thing you just said, the last note you just made there, because it's a fact, if you don't have a confident child, they wouldn't want to ask these questions that could lead them to, well, explore the world and also expose their potential. But thank you very much, Ochuko. It's always a pleasure to have you here talking to us about our children and how we can be greater parents, and especially using the Montessori system as a tool. We look forward to seeing you again next week here on the show.
It's my pleasure.
Oh,
Thank
yes.
you, Mazina. I'm glad to always be around.
Well, thank you very much. Do stay tuned, you back at home, because we've got more. The kitchen is sizzling, and it's all buzz here on Wake Up Nigeria. Can't wait. We've got more coming your way.